It's Matthew Barrett. I'm going to bring you some leak project here. I wanted to, I hate to have to keep doing that, but citing Mr. Rex Bear over at Leak Project, as he is the seminal researcher that I ran into and have stuck with through the years. Um, well, I got to go to the man on this one, and he's interviewing this gentleman here, which is Jimmy Jones. Secrets of the universe. The Vatican and politicians and what have you do not want you to know, nor does the medical institution, regarding the ascension process, the Age of Aquarius, and tying the Kundalini awakening experience in with some of his research.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this edition of Peak Project. I'm your host, Rex Bear, and we have Jimmy J. Jones with us today. Now, his website is a plethora of knowledge, and he offers all this information for free. Celestialvision.info. And we're going to...
And I'm just going to touch on this stuff. I'm not going to show the entire episode, but I will introduce it to you so you have an idea of the depth of research and study and experience that these people have with this subject.
Talk today about his work, Atlantis Rising, and we're going to talk about how Jacob wrestles with an angel of God and what it actually means. So buckle up or brace yourselves. I like to wear seatbelts, I'll admit it. But definitely, folks, this is going to be a deep ride, so thank you for being here with us. And Jimmy, man, it is an honor to speak with you. How the heck are you?
Honor to speak with you as well, Rex. I'm living the dream. Beautiful day.
It is. Beautiful.
Poseidon, Inky.
Do any of you use space heaters, like the conventional space heaters? I just read a spooky statistic that studies on space.
Oh yeah, love Rex. He's an awesome guy, but I don't need his.
A built-in timer, an adjustable temperature on it.
Yeah, that's his. Oh, look at that.
Trying to go for the Budweiser.
Threw me right into a commercial. All right.
It works. Click the link. As a Leak Project listener, first-time buyer, you're going to get a 50% discount. Order several. You can save a ton.
The space heaters.
On your heating bills. I don't know about your car insurance, but definitely on your heating bills. And enjoy this presentation because it's awesome. And so are you. It is beautiful. It's snowing like crazy outside. I think we got, over the past couple of days, we got about 8 to 10 inches of snow. It's been nice, you know.
Wow.
Late winter. So loving it. Gives me something to do. Go out there and shovel snow. Gets me some exercise. Gets the blood flowing. And I love it. I think it's great. So
Absolutely.
You know, I got to say something. I know we talked a little bit off air, but I wanted to bring this up because, folks, if you haven't seen our first podcast, it was so amazing. And there were things that Jimmy said in that podcast, so genuine and so powerful that it still affects me. And I think it's brilliant the way that he brought it together with these books and this website and presents this information so genuine and so powerful. And it's like multi-layers of knowledge. Like you can look at the information one time and be like, okay, I think I get it. And then you go back a day later or a week later and it's just a whole new set of information. So we're going to go deep, folks. And Jimmy, what did you want to share with us today, man? Because I'm just going to give you an open platform.
Well, I'll take.
And I'm just giving an introduction. Again, this is his work. I'm just going to touch on it to introduce the concept and suggest that you do go to Leak Project YouTube and
Rex, there's we can go a million ways, like you said. You know, it's omniversal information. It's not linear information. The premise behind what we spoke about last time was the fractal of life and understanding the secret of life, and me confessing that I'm a man who has experienced something miraculous. It was a miracle, and it opened my pineal. It opened my chakras. Everything that these ancient stories tell you about, everything that mystical people are searching for, or New Agers are searching for. I claim to be a man who's had that happen. I raised my hand and tested.
That's what I've been saying. That has happened to me as well, which is no small part of why I'm interested in the subject. I went through an experience where my pineal gland was just opened, and I had multiple experiences since then.
Find that this has happened, and I believe I have the proof of it to offer. It's not just me stating that; it's offering folks proof. So we can continue on that subject
if they're not willing
Perfect.
to listen.
Yeah, this is perfect, and I think that this is happening at just the right time.
Gotta be willing to hear it.
Let's go.
Yeah. The right time being Aquarius. Are you referencing the Age of Aquarius?
I'm referencing like today, because that's what we're supposed to talk about. At this exact moment, it's meant to be. For whatever reason, it's like the spice is being built.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you. I mean, just,
Nice.
Speaking of the Age of Aquarius, I mean, let's look at it, man. We just entered Aquarius now last year, right? So from 2020 to 2021, that was the transition year. Now different cultures picked different specific dates.
Saying Age of Aquarius is pretty much the same thing as saying Revelations. They're two different words that mean the same series of events.
To move into Aquarius, the Mayans picked, it was 29 August, right? So they calculated, and I'll give you a little bit of background on that. People said that, 21 December 2012 was the end of the Mayan calendar, right? And we can move into the fifth sun. So, but that wasn't adjusted for, for the Roman.
That would be why the sun's white now instead of yellow. Kids, ask your parents and grandparents what color the sun is, and then look at it yourself. Hold the color yellow up next to it.
The Roman calendar. So when you back it up, it ends up as 29 August of 2020. So in this corresponds with the cycles of Venus, right? So they're a Venus cult, or a Venus religion, if you will, which happens to correspond with ancient Egyptians. 29 August is the birthday of Thoth, the one Thoth, right? Isn't that something, right? Some cultures pick 21 June, right, which is the rising of Secerets, 21 June 2020. They pick that. Some people pick 21 March 2020, which is rising in the east. And other folks picked 21 December, which is the winter solstice. Well, man, any one of those dates within 2020, you're talking about a 25,920 year cycle. So you're within 1 year of that. It's like a 99.99999% accuracy for all those ancient cultures. So, but what happened right after 21 December? I mean, we kicked over, and boom, the world. It's the big revealing, the great revealing, right? The revelation. John, the Baptist with the Aquarian bucket, right? It just flipped its script, right? Uranus ruling John the Baptist. Uranus being the planet that's got its rings 180 degrees, right? So it flips everything over. And this is how the fractal works. They knew this energy was going to come in, and this is how they prophesied it.
Pardon me.
So let's even the planet Uranus being on its side like that. You said it's bringing a different energy, and they knew that. Could you get into more detail with that?
Yeah, please.
Sure.
Right.
So this is what the ancients knew, that when they mapped out the cosmos, right? There's 12 signs in the zodiac. There's not 13. Why is it 12? Because 12 is the most efficient path of light. If you look at it from the numerological point of view, it's got a highly composite number. So it's the quickest path of light. Light will take that path. And, so from the numerical, need to slow down, numerical point of view, it has more divisors than any other number up to that number. There you go. It's the quickest path of light.
Let me jump in on that real quick, because I remember somebody said something about this last time. They were bragging and going off about how there's 13.
Yeah.
What's up
That's
with
what I
that?
heard. Yeah.
Some people count Ophiuchus, which is directly due west. They'll put Ophiuchus in there and count it as a 13th sign. If you're going to put number 13 in there, then you might as well throw the rest of them in there. All 88 constellations, and say there's 88 signs. You could continue to go. But the reason that most cultures pick 12 is because it's the most efficient path of light. That's the hidden information, is the most efficient path of light, because what we're talking about is light. You look up at the stars, and they're little balls of light. Look like, I think the Greeks call it like pores on the deity's skin. We measure them in light years. The sun is the light bringer and giver of light on this earth, and it's a big ball of light, right? We'll call it Bob, right? The big orange ball.
It's a big white ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about Bob? Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm writing notes as you're talking. It sounds like the secrets of light.
Secrets of light. That's what they're all talking about, Rex. If you look at the pick a book, any of them, pick any religion, every one of them and every story in them is talking about this one thing, which is the process of ascension. All of them. Pick a Hindu scripture, process of ascension. Islam, it doesn't matter. They're all talking about the process of it.
And that seriously can agitate some Christian people and other very religious people who believe that their religion it's just theirs and it's the one right one, and they have they're special because they have this secret knowledge that the rest of the world is just ignorant of, and well, the rest of the world just has it in their own language, and it's still the same information from the same source.
That is what I experienced on 11 March 2018 with that ball of light, a deity, a ball of electricity, a flower of life that appeared outside of my wall, made the wall disappear, and gave me this. So I went through the process of ascension, right? And what I attained was enlightenment, which is the secret of light. And the secret of light, to boil it down to its fundamentals, is that all is light. Everything is light, Rex. You're light. I'm light. That microphone is light. The airwaves are light. The tables are light. All those posters behind you are light. This shirt I have on is light. When you look under,
I describe it as a light matrix supported in a super dense, super cold fluid, because that's what physicists have described it as.
Electron microscope, and you get down to the fundamentals of it. Everything is that quantum energy, that field of energy, electromagnetic consciousness, and that field of energy is super consciousness itself, and it gives rights to us.
Okay, so then if we were to take that information to 32:20 Genesis, like yesterday, where Jacob wrestles with an angel of God, how would we connect that with the tendon? That's interesting.
Sure. The tendon's a tricky one, right?
Yeah.
It's that's one of the clues in there of that metaphysical story about the process of ascension. So no matter whether you believe it was a physical man named Jacob and he met a physical angel of God and wrestled at a physical mountain, but
which, when they say it's fractal, bear in mind it wouldn't be one of them. Fractal means it would be all of them. So there would have been a physical man named Jacob who would have physically, and I don't know how that's even remotely possible, to physically wrestle with an angel, which, to the best of my knowledge, is like a big ball of plasma, basically. A light. A ball of light. And we ourselves are balls of light coming in through the pineal and then spreading across light and electromagnetic lattice work across that forms the body, as far as I understand it.
a physical river, that's just one anyone that's looking for the physicalities within it is stuck on the literal level of learning, right? They only see the literal level of learning. But once you get into the metaphysical,
what the
deeper
government's willing to give you
meanings
for free.
of the story, well, and if you pulled up the book Atlantis Rising, and you can show your audience, excuse me.
The man, the myth,
And
the legend.
if you scroll down to page 3, I believe, Rex. Yeah, right there. Okay, you see Adam Cadmon over there to the right? He's wrapped around the wheel. Look where his hips are at. Libra due west, right where Ophiuchus is at, wrestling the snake in the sky. There's the story of Jacob wrestling the angel directly due west. Where his hips are at, where his crotch is at, right?
But he doesn't count because 12.
This is where he breaks his hip. See? Right there, directly due west on Libra, the setting sun, sunset. This is why Jacob breaks his hip. That angel breaks Jacob's hip. It's right there. It's Adam Cadmon. It's the celestial man. It's you. That's you, Rex, in the sky, right? A higher fractal of you, your present self that I'm speaking to right now.
We are.
Right?
Okay.
So that's why it's hit.
Consciousness is broken into 3 parts, right? Okay, we're in a fractal reality. Consciousness is broken into 3 parts: the conscious, the subconscious, and the superconscious. Now, in a fractal reality, it would be possible that in this electromagnetic spectrum where these lights are occurring, each sign is related to what would be called a little g, or a fractal of the light experience with which we're in, a given personality or aspects, ways of acting and being. And that 13th may be the way out of the matrix, in my opinion. Fire may be the way out of this prison system.
It's broken. So there's also a story within the Greeks. They talk about Mioidas. He wrestled Heracles and broke his ribs. It's another story of the same thing as Jacob. It's just you have a Greek version, you have a Jewish version, and the Greek version probably came from the Jewish version in this case.
And the Jewish version might have came from ancient Sumerian.
Even further. So what you would do is start looking at the Akkadians and the Sumerian texts and see if you can find a story about wrestling. That's the key word. That's the code word that should buzz in your head. Looking for a story that's got something about wrestling in it. And once you find that, you probably find that they broke something, and it's the same thing over and over and over.
So, is this saying right? a allegory that you are?
There is nothing new under the sun.
Like, what happens at that point? What's the significant point there? What why are they saying at that point he wrestles with God or with an angel of God, and then they call it the pineal?
Absolutely. So he's wrestling with the angel right there directly due west. He's on the equator, Rex. He's equal. Remember we spoke about Vishnu's name being equal. So he's right on the equator. He's equal. He's level. He's centered. He's balanced. And he wrestles the angel. The angel breaks his hip. And it's at this point that when Jacob defeats the angel, he receives his God name. Jacob then becomes Israel. And he received it on the Peniel. He went up to the mountain right here, Rex. And his name, the mountain's name was Peniel. He went up to the Peniel and received his God name. This man received, whoever Jacob was in real life, experienced the process of ascension. He must have seen the exact same blue light that I see, right? And it's told in the story of the celestial zodiacal wheel. Amazing, right?
It's incredible. And then if we were to take this further,
Yes, sir.
what would it actually, like, how would you bring this knowledge back and use it to go to the next level?
How would I bring that knowledge back? Well, this is what I've tried to do for humanity with the website, the free website, with all this information. Uh, um, I capture it out of the ether. You know, it comes through, and just piece it together with my human capabilities as a physical man on the internet. Put it together and give it to you for free, so I can show you what these stories are telling you. They're not physical stories, and on one level they are, but once you get past it, they're
Yeah, and we can thank pretty much the Illuminati and the Roman Catholic Church for that. They hid the information and preach the metaphor as truth, and the truth is metaphor. And all the while, the most laureate of them learn that this information, actually. They learn this
way deeper. And I'm talking about the process of ascension. And it basically goes like this. You know, you must do the inner work of man. You have to. And it's the
do
only
it
way
yourself.
That you can ascend.
For yourself, not for others.
From my point of view, what does that mean to ascend? Man, that means that, and in my case, in my experience, that you will experience magic. You will experience a metaphysical process where
literally
an electromagnetic ball will appear. It was a flower of life. It looks just like the one under the food dog's hand, right?
Saw it.
It looked just like that, but more beautiful. It was turning in on itself, right? Not just rotating on the outside, but turning and compressing in on itself. And it was a fractal.
Maybe.
And it spoke. It told me, Rex, I got the eyes of heaven, and I don't say that out of an ego. I say it out of,
Okay, I have not been that blessed. I've seen some stuff. This man is clearly directly been blessed by God, as the Christian Judeo Church teaches God to be.
Humility, man. I don't feel like I'm worthy of it. I truly don't. I'm a flawed man, right? I'm perfectly imperfect, right? But Japanese call it wabi-sabi, right? Perfectly imperfect. Anything that's perfect will surely have some slight imperfection where it's not perfect. It's a strange concept, but it's true. It's true. It has to have a little bit, otherwise it would be static. If something is absolutely perfect, it's just static, and there'll be no movement. It has to have some imperfection to keep it moving through the wheels of time. It creates that dream for itself. It assigns itself a portion of itself to play the part of the bad guy, right? It has to be. So
the hero's journey.
The hero's journey, man. There it is. There's Hercules and his 12 labors, right? Adam Kadmon's wrapped around Hercules and his 12 labors, or Heracles, ancient Earth.
Which would be the same story that he just told.
In his 12 labors, or Jesus and his 12 disciples.
Same story.
On and on and on, forever. All the 12s, everyone you can think of, right? And you're right there in the middle.
Because his name wasn't Jesus. It was Yeshua ben Yosef. Then it would have became Yeshua, whatever they use for and Christ.
Or Jesus. You are. So
that might explain the 13.
That's one way to look at the 13. So the 12 plus you.
Yes. I like that. I like that.
Nice.
And with that being said, when you brought up the 12 and the way that it divides, and it's the best number for that.
That is as much of a teaser to this as I feel comfortable putting out. I waited till it was an older show. And I hope you find it informative, and it encourages you to go over to Leak Project YouTube Thank you. Love and peace. Matt out. I'm changing my end phrase to love and peace for those who have been listening. That's what I would usually say. I was just saying the good night, good evening, good morning, because I wasn't sure when people would be watching. So that too, but if I had a catchphrase, it'd be love and peace. I got it from Trigon. Yeah. Good night, good morning, good evening.